Today, I will give you an update on the situation in Usnarz Gorny, specifics of a Belarus hybrid attack on Europe, the legal migration of over 1,000 Afghans into Poland, and some stats about the crime rates of Afghan refugees already in the EU. First, the issue with Belarus. The hot Polish take is that the refugees are not in Poland, they are in Belarus. They are legally in Belarus on a 30-day tourist visa. They are essentially camping on the border. They can return to Minsk at any time. If they would like to apply to asylum, they should do so in Belarus, which is a signatory to the Geneva Convention on Refugees. Belarus have a historical Muslim community, several mosques, numerous employment opportunities in agriculture and manufacturing. It's not that bad, although the inflation rate is quite high. One major story in Poland this week was that a guest on TVN called the Polish border guards garbage, and the host then said he wanted to know their identities. Proof of a very unpopular moment, indefensible. Identities of a guard are kept secret to protect Poland from Russian threats. The pro-refugee activists, a loose coalition of journalists, NGOs, and far-left political figures, are undercut by the lack of support from their traditional ally, the EU. The EU is backing Poland and Lithuania and Latvia totally on this issue. They seemingly learned a lesson. The EU position on the migrant issue coming from Belarus, a drastic departure from their policy on the Greek border, where they criticized Greece for pushbacks. Poland, Lithuania, Latvia are all doing pushbacks of illegal migrants back to Belarus, and they are not facing any criticism from the EU. Why? What's changed? If you have any ideas, put them in the comments. Internally in Poland, there isn't any support for illegal immigration. A very good article written by Tadeusz Gishan. He details how a Belarusian state-owned company advertised to Iraqis. Part of the article have a translation from an Iraqi forum on how to take the Belarusian route into Europe. I will quote from it now. After you cross the border through the Belarusian forest, you have to pay the smuggler $1,000 to $1,500 for transport to Vilnius. Then you are in Lithuania. You can rest, but away from the police. You drive a special smuggler's car. You agree on the price with the driver and drive. You only pay when they bring you into Poland. You choose which country you want to get a residence permit, join local Arab groups on social networks, find truck drivers who will take you to your chosen country. You only pay pennies for fuel. Do not say which country you want to stay in. Try to avoid the police. Dress simply, neatly, so as not to be conspicuous. Behave modestly. When you get to your destination country, report to the authorities that you are a refugee and prepare the appropriate documents to stay there. His article has much more detailed information. I will link it in the description. Another issue is legal immigration. We must talk about this. As of today, 1,024 Afghans have been relocated to Poland. Poland, of course, is not alone in this. These are people who collaborated with the Polish military and their families, part of a coalition of the willing. While it is honorable to stand by your allies, and many of these people will be of excellent character, there is reason to be concerned. I will quote from an excellent article published in 2017 titled, I've worked with refugees for decades. Europe's Afghan crime wave is mind-boggling. Quote, but there was one development that had not been expected and was not tolerable. The large and growing incidence of sexual assaults committed by refugees against local women. These were not of a cultural misunderstanding, date rape sort, but were vicious, no preamble attacks on random girls and women, often committed by gangs or packs of young men. At first, these incidents were downplayed or hushed up. No one wanted to provide the right wing with fodder for nationalist agitation. Half of all rape cases in Austria are caused by Afghans. Syrians, who make up a similar proportion of the population, account for 10%. This article from 2017, but the situation hasn't changed. Austria, which has one of the largest Afghan populations in the world, is actually currently deporting Afghans whose asylum claims have been denied to Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. The West is taking in large numbers of Afghan refugees. Afghan refugees are vastly overrepresented in sexual assaults, even among Muslim migrants. Finally, I will read the 10 Commandments for Polish candidates for refugee saviors, posted by Ula Patak, who have over 15 years experience working with refugees. Number 1, sit on your ass and start learning first. You need to know who the people in front of you will be, what experiences they have, what their countries are, and how they are willing or not willing to change. If you don't know who you are talking to, you are talking with voices in your own head. Number 2, you need to know what your tolerance limits are. If you despise the Polish peasant from Podkarpacia because he is anti-LGBT, will you be able to help the Afghan boy who believes that the penalty for homosexuality should be stoning? It's an important question, so think about it. Number 3, if you are not an anti-Semite, consider whether you can withstand the pressure against a group of people who love their children, want well for them, treat you with a cookie, and they'll also tell you that Hitler was good. Number 4, if you're a woman, evaluate your ability to withstand the scorn that trumps any drunk uncle who wants to sit you down. Be prepared to be constantly judged by the prism of having children and a husband. Either you skip it or you are unfit for the job. If you are a lesbian, you can never admit it. It really eliminates you. Number 5, you must learn to eliminate passive aggression from the tone of your voice and never to demean anyone. Yes, this peasant from Podkarpacia also knows that you despise him and think you are smart. The rest of the world will know it too, and no one likes silent vipers. Number 6, speak well of your country. If not, why these people came here to hear your cries. Number 7, cherish the achievement of the European Enlightenment and Reformation. It is good to be proud that you are allowed to be an atheist. Number 8, give people time to adopt to the new way. Do not think, however, that your involvement means that the refugees will take on your political beliefs. They are adults and often have survived more than you and have their own political beliefs. Number 9, don't expect gratitude. Be polite and separate. Don't suck up and don't pretend you understand what it means to be a refugee. No, this is not the same as a flight from Poland to the West in the 1980s. Number 10, sense of humor is a common thing for all people in the world. It reduces tension and it can save your ass. I would like to end with a personal anecdote. A few months ago, I had a conversation with a girl who taught Polish to groups of Muslim refugees in Poland. And she asked, why? Why come to Poland? Why not Germany? The answer they said, because Poland won't force LGBT propaganda onto their children. Now this girl is very liberal, so you could imagine her shock in hearing this answer. Something to think about. As the West deteriorates, Poland becomes more attractive to these refugees. Anyways, a bit of a random video today. Thank you for listening. Do widzenia.